criminal!
Ma'am, please, listen to me.
I knew it! You've been stealing from this hospital!
Those drinks were going to be thrown away. Enough! Hand me your ID badge. You're fired.
Juliana walked out of the hospital carrying a small cardboard box filled with her belongings. Nurses watched from the windows. Some whispered. Others simply stared. No one knew the full story. Juliana kept walking, trying not to cry. She looked up at the bright afternoon sky and whispered, "Please don't let today destroy my family." Just then, a silver luxury sedan pulled up near the hospital entrance. A driver quickly got out, helped an elderly man onto a wheelchair, and said, "Sir, stay right here. I'll go park the car." The driver pushed the wheelchair close to the entrance and drove away. The elderly man sat quietly waiting. A moment later, his oxygen tube slipped loose from the tank beside him. He tried to fix it himself. The tubing twisted around his arm. His breathing became uneven. He began gasping for air. People nearby froze. Some looked around for help. Juliana dropped her box and ran toward him. She knelt beside the wheelchair, untangled the tubing, reconnected the oxygen, and helped him breathe steadily until the driver returned. The elderly man gripped her hand weakly. "Thank you," he whispered. Juliana smiled faintly, picked up her box, and walked away. The next morning, the elderly man's son arrived at the hospital after hearing from the driver how a nurse had saved his father's life. He asked the receptionist to help him find her. After describing the nurse, the receptionist pointed him toward the head nurse. The head nurse scoffed. "That woman? She was fired yesterday for stealing nutrition drinks." The son frowned. The story didn't make sense. A woman who stopped to save a stranger in a hospital parking lot did not sound like a criminal. As he turned to leave, the security guard quietly said, "She left carrying a small box yesterday. She usually stops at the grocery store across the street before going home." The son thanked him and walked across the street. Inside the grocery store, he noticed a young woman holding a bottle of nutrition milk. It was Juliana. She counted the few dollars in her hand, then looked down. She was short by several dollars. The cashier began taking the bottle away. Juliana whispered, "My mother needs it. She can barely eat anymore." The son stood silently a few feet away, realizing for the first time why those drinks mattered so much. He watched Juliana leave the store empty-handed and followed her from a distance. She entered a small apartment building and climbed a narrow staircase. When the door opened, he saw an elderly woman lying weakly on a bed. Juliana sat beside her mother, held her hand, and apologized softly because she could not afford the nutrition milk that day. The man stood silently outside the door, his heart breaking. The following morning, he returned to Juliana's apartment. He paid for her mother's medical treatment in full and arranged monthly deliveries of fresh nutrition milk, medicine, and groceries to their home. When Juliana tried to thank him, he shook his head. "You gave my father breath when everyone else stood still. This is not charity. This is gratitude." For the first time in months, hope returned to Juliana's home. And Juliana realized that one act of compassion had changed everything. Because sometimes the person everyone calls a criminal is the very person sacrificing everything for someone they love.